Televisa presenta.
Ladies and gentlemen, here today we have Dr. Philip Zimbardo, a psychologist that has been teaching and studying psychology for over 50 years. Zimbardo is a retired professor who taught at Stanford University from 1968 to 2003. This is where he developed his infamous Stanford prison experiment that took place in 1971. He was also elected president of the American Psychological Association in 2002 and has published over 50 books and created and narrated a PBS series called Discovering Psychology. Let's give a warm welcome to one of the most distinguished living psychologists, Mr. Philip Zimbardo.
Thank you, Gonzalez.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure being here.
I know it is. Well, Dr. Zimbardo, it's truly an honor to have you on the show. Could you please give us a brief overview of your experiment?
Yes, of course I can. When I created the Stanford prison experiment, I had the goal of investigating how willingly people would conform to the roles of either a prisoner or a guard in a mock prison experiment. I used Stanford's psychology building's basement as the location of this mock prison.
And nobody questioned you about what you were doing at the time in that basement?
Well, my wife did, but I'll tell you about that later. I gathered 21 college male students from a total of 75 volunteers. The volunteers were screened to be tested to see if they were psychologically normal. The 21 that were approved were paid $15 per day for participating in this experiment.
Rack City chick, 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 10, 20s and a 50 chick. I'm a motherfucking star. Look at the paint on the car. Too much rim, make the ride too hard. Tell that chick
I flipped the coin to randomly assign the role of either a prisoner or guard. The guards wore a khaki uniform with dark glasses, handcuffs, and a whistle.
Young Nino.
The prisoners were actually arrested from their home without warning and were taken to a real police station.
You're arrested. So remain silent. Anything that can or will be used against you.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come?
Once there, the prisoners were blindfolded, fingerprinted, and photographed. The prisoners were then taken blindfolded to a prison, and they were stripped naked. They were given an orange uniform with a number on it to begin the de-individualization process. What I
Spend all your time waiting for that second chance, for a break that would make.
discovered was that in a very short amount of time, the guards and prisoners became adapting into their role, and within a few hours, the guards began to harass prisoners.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that they developed a brutal and sadistic behavior.
Aye.
The guards insulted the prisoners and made them do pointless tasks, which began the dehumanization process. The prisoners also developed their own type of behavior and they took the prison rules very seriously. They snitched on the other prisoners that were disobeying the rules. As the days went on, the prisoners became more dependent on the guards, and the guards were the ones that were in control. This caused the prisoners to be more submissive and the guards to be more aggressive and assertive.
Time
Get
waiting
down, son.
for that second chance, for a break that would make it okay. There's always some reason to feel
Who's king?
not good enough.
Who's
And
king?
it's hard at the end of the day.
Good.
I need some distraction.
There was an incident in which one prisoner, after 36 hours, began to develop uncontrollable bursts of screaming, crying, and anger. The prisoner was entering very early stages of a deep depression. Three more prisoners became to develop these behaviors as well. So after 6 days, the experiment was shut down after a long talk with my wife.
We have those every now and then, don't we?
Yes, so in conclusion, what my colleagues and myself found was that people are readily able to conform to their social roles that people are expected to play. The roles that people play can shape their behavior and attitude. This study helped reveal information on how conformity and role-playing works, as well as how situational and dispositional factors affect people's actions.
Well, as you were aware, right, there were many ethical standards that were violated during this experiment. This includes informed consent. It includes harm, both psychologically and physically, to the participants, as you may know. And this was one of the most unethical studies ever recorded.
Precisely. At the time, there wasn't a panel of ethical judges that you had to go to in order to get your study approved. But another good thing that came from the study is that it revealed information on the effects of de-individualization, as well as illustrating the cognitive dissonance theory, as well as the role of authority.
But that brings me to another question. How does this relate to the incidents at Abu Ghraib on August 28, 2004?
Horrible pictures that were emerging from the Abu Ghraib prison about the military police abusing and torturing the Iraqi detainees. And I was struck with the visual similarity of prisoners being naked, with bags over their head, and being forced to engage in sexually degrading activities. Immediately, my mind flashed back to 1971 and said, wait a minute. Those are the same images that I saw in my study. But the question is was there just visual similarity, or was there a psychologically dynamics to it as well?
People like President George Bush said that there are just a few bad apples and a few rogue soldiers. Is that the case?
As I said in my book, The Lucifer Effect, is that you must look at the totality of the situation. In my Stanford prison experiment, the boys were perfectly normal as they were tested for psychological normality, and they were mentally healthy. And look what happened. You just can't judge the actions of what ultimately occurred and caused. It's just like putting on trial the man of the mafia hitman and not putting on trial the mafia bosses.
I see.
Yes, it's just ordinary people becoming the perpetrators of evil.
Well, let's put these formalities away, Mr. Zimbardo, and so tell me, what are you doing with your life right now?
Currently, I traveled worldwide giving lectures, trying to promote my nonprofit, the Heroic Imagination Project. You can visit it online at www.heroicimagination.com. I currently research the psychology of heroism, such as what pushes people to become the perpetrators of evil, while others are act heroically on behalf of those in need.
Oh, well, that is fantastic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Jesus Gonzalez, and Zimbardo. This is Zimbardo. Gotta say, it's truly an honor.
Dr. Zimbardo.
Ah, man.
Bad boys, what you want,
Wait,
what you
where was I?
want, what you gonna
Alright, just start over.
do when you
There was an incident in which, after 36 hours, the prisoner had to be released because he developed
what you wanna do, what you gonna do.
There was an incident in which one prisoner, after 36 hours, began to develop an uncontrollable screaming, anger, and
When you were 8 and you had bad traits, you go to school and learn the golden
Alright, I got it.
So why are you acting like a bloody fool? If you get hot, then you must get cool. Bad boys,
Oh, was I supposed to stop?
so I saw the horrible pictures that were emerging from Abu Dhabi about there was an incident in which one prisoner, after 36 hours, began to develop that you must look at. Should we do that again?
I think we should do the whole thing. People like George.
Tony, are you trying to break in?
What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?